Hi, everyone. I'm Ivan Biuki, and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is our good friend, David Morgan from the Morgan Report. Great to see you, sir.
Ivan, it's always good to see you and Jim as well. Thank you for having me.
David, it's great to have you on here. Powell today came out and said transitory has a different meaning to different people, and it's time to retire that word. What do you think about that?
Oh, I don't know. Kind of, what triggers my mind, and maybe we'll get a few laughs out of this, like the trumpet, China, China, China. I mean, this thing is transitory, transitory, transitory. Oh, wait a minute, it's not transitory. I mean, these people take us for utter fools,
Mhm.
and I think the American public is much brighter than they think we are. And they think they can, and they can't. The old adage: you fool some of the people all the time, all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. I think there's more and more people that are awake to the fake news, whether you like Trump or not. I think a
Mhm.
fact is a fact, and the fact is the mainstream news cannot be trusted whatsoever at all. So here we are with the fearless leader telling us transitory. We'll have to retire that word.
Yeah, our fearless leader, Jerome Powell. Um, so where do we go from here with precious metals? Does the Fed really have any options? They seem to have admitted inflation's here to stay. It's not transitory, but at the same time, they've got this whole new variant going on with Omicron, and they're already talking about dialing back the taper. I mean, the
Mhm.
taper that they haven't even really started yet. No, but I mean, that's the rumor. But then in his comments today, Jerome Powell talked about accelerating the taper, finishing it up a few months early. I don't know if you saw those comments.
I did see the final one, Jim, and thanks for the reminder. This is just a talking head, me talking to, Wall Street Silver. Look, all they have left in reality is rhetoric, what they say out of their mouth, and try to convince enough, of the establishment to, hold fast, things are fine, we've got the reins, hands on the tiller, steady as she goes, and all that nonsense.
Mhm.
They're scared to death behind the curtain, just like the Wizard of Oz, but they don't have any other tools really left. So yeah, taper or not taper, they're not doing much of anything. The amount of quote unquote taper is absolutely meaningless on a percentage basis.
Yeah.
And the markets are much more likely to react out of their control. I know that sounds impossible because the Fed has had such a tight hand on the tiller. And so far, I have to credit them. They have navigated fairly well through this very trying time on the financial markets. But that can't last forever. And again, more and more people are waking up. If you look at the
Mhm.
smart money's leaving the equity market. They're just doing what's called a distribution cycle. They're selling off a little at a time, a little for them, a million, if you own 100 million shares, you sell a million a day kind of thing. But they're not out of the stock market, but largely exited. And then, of course, the bond people are always betting that they know more than the next guy with their computer algorithm. They know which way there's going to be a fraction of 1/10 of 1% increase or decrease in the interest rates and get all that leverage in the price of the bond. So everyone that thinks they can outsmart the other one is still playing that game. But
Mhm.
at some point, as I've said in many interviews, Ivan and Jim, is if you don't trust a dollar day after tomorrow,
Mhm.
which a lot of Americans don't because of gas prices and food prices and the labor shortage and what's on the shelf, and I can't get that thing for my kid I was saved up for Christmas, and now it doesn't exist, or it's 6 weeks past February. People are getting pretty well disgusted. So the point being, if you don't trust a dollar in 2 weeks, what are you going to trust for 10 years or 30 years for that matter? And
Yeah.
that's the problem that they have. And everyone knows that the emperor has no clothes. Everyone knows that that dollar today, tomorrow, 2 year note, 5 year, 10 year, 30 year isn't really worth the paper it's printed on. But no one is willing to do what the little kid does, shout at the top of his lungs and point and say the emperor has no clothes. But
Mhm.
they're getting closer to that day every day.
Rick Rule, you know what he calls bonds these days or treasuries that are have a negative real return? Return free risk.
Yeah.
um, so, anyways, I wanted to something you've wrote recently. You have a new conspiracy that you're into, and I read it and I found it really interesting, and I wanted to share it with the audience. Can you go into your crypto conspiracy for us?
You bet I can. So there's a guy named John Perez, and he has my ear pretty well. I get information from others, and he's been giving me a lot of information about Bitcoin. So I use the word conspiracy, Jim, deliberately, sort of as a buffer, because oh, you're full of it. I'll just say, well, it's just a conspiracy, so why get mad at me? But what we're doing is we're leaving those breadcrumbs out. And so I started here with this. This is my blog, by the way. This is free to the public. So just go to the blog and you'll see what I'm looking at and showing on my screen. The crypto conspiracy, that's episode 1. And then there was another one and another one. It's a series. What was it? 4. I moved away from John for a moment and I went with Cyrus A. Parsa, who runs the AI organization. He's written a couple books. I read the second one, The Great Reset, same title as Klaus Schwab. But he talks a lot about the artificial intelligence and the internet of, ITOS, Internet of Things, right? Everything is connected. Everything is connected to the internet, your dishwasher, your toaster spying on you, see how toasty you like your toast and all this stuff. So I had him on and tried to corner him and did really an excellent job, in my opinion. I wanted to just track him on the crypto side of everything. And he did pretty much stay on topic the whole discussion. And he is of a similar belief of myself, which is there is the opportunity in a true decentralized financial system to break free of the banks. But that's more of a pipe dream than a reality, the way things have gone, because almost everyone that's in that crypto world has to go through some kind of an exchange. And that means you have a KYC. So you have no hand in it. Yes, I understand pirate coins. And yes, you can find a local dealer and buy Bitcoin for cash. And I get all that. I know that. But that's such a small minority to the people that say, name, rank, and serial number. Here I am. I'm buying Bitcoin. I'm buying Ethereum. I'm buying XRP. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do KYC. All I'm suggesting is the big tout that it's decentralized and anonymous is a lie. It's not. So we go into that, and then we go to the dark side of that, the conspiracy side, and we started looking at who's who and what's what. And there's a lot of vectors, Jim and Ivan, that point to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And we did a map on that. And on that map, there were several vectors that pointed right to, believe it or not, the late, great Jeffrey Epstein. So that is that's a breadcrumb that will get people excited. And I'm going to interview John after this. He's come up with some more stuff. I mean, I think the man spends about 10 hours a day going on the dark web and finding stuff that I can't find, but he finds it. And we screen share it. Look, I'm not saying I know it. All I'm saying is it's damned interesting, and it makes for the best news at a cocktail party you've had. Jim, if I were meeting you for the first time like I did at the Silver Symposium, and I had this in my hip pocket, instead of leaving at 11 o'clock at night, we would have talked to 1:30 in the morning.
All right, so give us the 45-second version. How is Epstein connected to this conspiracy?
He's from the MIT gang. He's the MIT bunch. And remember that Ghislaine Maxwell, however you say her name, the last thing she did in the public domain was sell, $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. There's something here. It smells bad. Have I figured it all out, Jim? I have not. Ivan, do I know everything that's going on? No, but I am finding some pretty big breadcrumbs. I want you to follow me on this path because it's getting really.
Okay. I'm Googling right now while you're talking. You keep talking, or is it all?
Well, that's it. I mean, one of the more interesting interviews in this series was about the executive order that if you're using any financial instrument, which of course would include a crypto, for child trafficking purposes, your assets could be frozen without any warning. Your banker calls you and says, hey, so and so is looking at your account, they want some explanation, just take it. Or I should say take it. They just freeze it. So there's a lot more here than most people have. I think that's a more interesting interview. I'm the one that pulsed John on that. This is a back and forth conversation. So John, what does this mean to your thinking and what we're investigating here? And I let him do most of the talking because I think he did a better job than me, but he basically came out with, look, read it. So we kind of read it together and said, look, if you're doing something in child trafficking and you're using any asset, no warning required.
If people are interested in learning more, are these videos for free on your website?
You know, Jim, you know me fairly well. I mean, I have done a lot, and I'm not trying to brag. It's a fact. For free. You know, I consider it to be like a public service thing, and it is. So this one is a free series. Of course, I'm going to write about a little more in depth in my monthly report, but not much more than what I'm already doing. So yeah, if you just get on our free email, let's go to themorganreport.com, the main website, and sign up for our free newsletter. You'll be on the mailing list. So every time I come out with one of these, you will be notified by email. So just give me a name and email and sign up for our free letter, and away you go. I will mention real quickly that on the subscribe tab, I am going to be increasing the prices on our paid service January 1st, 2022. And I'll be more in line with what everyone else is charging. So we will offer it at the current price for the full month of December. And after that, the price will double. So, it's very inexpensive if I'm going to double the price. And I will. And the double price will still be about half of what every other newsletter in the sector sells for. So.
Nice.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Well, thank you for the update. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.